Hi everyone. In this video, I'll show you how I retrieved data around the tracks that I have used in this project. Okay, so firstly, I'd like to mention that I'm using a new file. I'm working in this new file called main1.py. My last file was main.py. The reason is that I exceeded my rate limits in the main.py. Okay, I was getting the 429 status code, so I thought I'll just create a new app called statistics. Okay, so I created new app called statistics. Then in a new folder I created new environment variables, and then I created this particular, I just copy pasted it everything from main.py, and here I created the new function which will help us retrieve the stats for the tracks. So let's see what we are extracting over here. Okay, so we are working with tracks. Let's ignore this part. For tracks we are retrieving 1 2 3 4 5 6, okay, 6 things. We are interested in popularity, explicit flag, artists, duration, image, album name. Okay, image we are not extracting like an image, we are extracting the URL for that image. Okay, and that's it. Explicit flag will be a boolean value, will extract true false. Now let's come to, okay, here the first thing what we need is we need IDs that we created in main.py, the track IDs that we created in main.py. Okay, so if you remember, in main.py we wrote a pickle file called tracks with ids.pkl, which contains a dictionary object that has tracks as keys and IDs as values. So we are reading it here in this main1.py, and what we are doing is we are storing it in tracks with IDs. Okay, let's see if the retrieval was successful by checking the length of this. Okay, and okay, the rest of code is commented out as I, let's see, 2358, it means that the retrieval was successful. And if you remember that we had more tracks than 2358. The reason is this: because a track, there may be tracks that were deleted, or a search, there is more chances of a search being unsuccessful, and also there are chances that a track is deleted or is too old that it can't be searched. Okay, let's clear this. So we'll work with these 2358 tracks, and since they are here, let's come to a second step. First step was to get the data, get track IDs for getting their, let's skip this, get track IDs. Okay, second step would be a function, creating a function, okay, which retrieves the tracks data. So this is the function. I named it get track stats, and we are passing a token and a track ID. Okay, two things we are passing. And if you look at the endpoint, we are passing a track ID in the endpoint, and if you look at this endpoint, it is very similar to this endpoint, the this URL. Okay, so it is very similar to this. The only difference is that that is an API endpoint. Then basic header generation, okay, with the function we have created earlier, and then get request over there to have a response object. Okay, so we are not converting this response object into JSON and extracting everything. Okay, we are leaving it as it is for now, and I'll show you how it works. Okay, so let's say ID is equal to this and res is equal to, and token is V and ID is there. I think V I have commented now. Yes. Okay, and for ID we'll use this particular track's ID. You will understand why I use this. Okay, let's see what we get. Response object 200. This means that the request was successful. Now what we'll do is we'll convert this result, which is a response object, into a JSON object. JSON.loads and result.content. Okay, we are converting into a JSON object, and now let's see what happens. Are we returning result? Yes. Control Enter. Okay, so very messed up response. Sorry, JSON object. So let's see what is the first requirement. Our first requirement is image. Now it is very hard for us to read this. So there are two steps. Either we can copy paste this whole JSON object and then use any of the JSON beautifier to understand this, or what is the simplest and best approach would be to go in documentation and understand it through their get track and understand the response from this. Okay, let's see what we need. If we need image, we'll go to this album. After that, after the album we'll go to image, images. On images there is a list. Okay, so at the 0th index is this part. From the 0th index we will retrieve URL just like this. Okay, so you can go and check the documentation and check yourself how I retrieved everything like this. And if you see, for album name I'm using a very small conditional logic. So what this conditional logic does is it will retrieve the album name for only those tracks which are under the album that has more than 3 tracks. Okay, now let's skip this part, or let's just make the meaning through this only. No, let's just skip this part and I'll show you how I will retrieve for each and everything. Okay, so I've contained these are my container objects. ठीक है, track image, track property, track explicit, track duration, track album name, and for artists we'll do it on next step. This is the retrieval. Not, let's just skip it. Okay, I'm skipping this part because I have already generated all of this, so that's why I'm skipping it. And because I created all of this just for the sake of video, so I can skip this. Now let's understand this part. Okay, a result is a JSON object already. This is a result. From this result, okay, this is our result which we are getting. So what we are doing in this loop, we are in tracks with IDs.items. Okay, track is key, ID is the value, and this tracks with IDs we have read it. Where did we read it? We read it here. Okay, so let's do it quickly. We are doing try and accept, and there are two errors that are very common: index and key error, because I've worked with it. And if will not use try and accept, we'll obviously run into errors. Okay, because it is possible that a track might not be labeled for its explicit nature, or a track has no album, or a track has no image. They are very rare, but it is possible always. Okay, so what is happening, let's see. This is a very normal dictionary loop with dot items, track and ID. We are trying temp. Temp is the JSON object for each track. Okay, so temp would be what the all the mess that we saw over there. From temp we'll retrieve slowly. Okay, so let's see for image. Firstly, we are retrieving image by this logic, and if the image retrieval was successful, then only we are taking the track, uh, saving it in track image dictionary, and the key would be track name and image link, the image which is the URL, string would be the value. Okay, same for explicit, same for popularity, and same for popularity, same for duration. Okay, the only thing is that there is a conditional logic for, yeah, album name. Okay, so if temp album total tracks is greater than or equal to 3, okay, let's skip this. If it is greater than 3, then only retrieve the album name, which will be album name equals temp album and then name. Okay, and then we will save it in our container object track album name track equals album name. That's it. And if there is an index error, we'll mention the index error by using an f string. If there is a key error, then we'll also mention it. Let's see how this works. Container objects done, code done, key accepted, try accept done. Okay, let's see how it goes. Is there v? Yes. Okay, so as you can see, this is working, and we have to extract for around 2348 tracks, and that would be very time consuming, so I'll just kill it. Okay, and I'll show you, I'll comment out this part and I'll show you how I retrieve the artists. Okay, same logic I have used. Okay, and I'm also skipping once again this part of writing a new feature artist.pkl, because I already have this file. Okay, just for the sake of video, I have created this new file, so let's just stick to it. So I'm making a new container object called all artists and empty dictionary. Then I'm running a loop inside this dictionary called tracks with IDs, same as that last time. Now what we are doing is we are trying artist equals get track stats IDs artists. Okay. Okay, so I'm generating my artists. This was the, you know this was the whole JSON object. From this whole JSON object I am taking all the artists. If I go over there and show you in documentation, this is the response JSON object. Okay, from which I am extracting what? Artists only. So I have this particular code block, a list that goes from there to there. Okay, I have this particular part, a list. Remember that this is a list, so this artist is a list. And then I am defining a string, empty string called ft, or you can say it as feature. Then I'm saying if artist, because I have to you know work. If the retrieval was successful, then only will go to the next step. So I'm saying if artist, and then if len of artist is more than one, because I am not interested in the first artist, I am moreover interested in the artists that are feature artists. Okay, or the artists other than the main artist. So I'm saying that if the length of artists is more than one, if you can see once more that this is a list. Okay, this first dictionary, okay, this first part, it contains the first artist or the main artist. If there are multiple artists, then this would have one more part to it, like the same dictionary but for the next artist. And I can show you, let's just show you guys how it will look. Okay, I'll comment out this code, and you must be wondering why I had felony over there. I had felony for various reasons, because felony as a track has total of 4 artists, one as main and 3 as feature artist. Okay, let's say res is equal to get track stats vid, and the id would be this. If you remember what we are retrieving from there, we are retrieving only artists. Okay, everything I think is print res cls control alt n. Okay, I'll show you. Let's have a one more time. Let's have a look at this. Artist is what? Artist is a list that contains a dictionary object. In that dictionary we have what, one, two, three, four, five, six keys, and for one artist. Okay, so in this example we can see that artist has only one artist. And now if I go there, okay, again a list. And now if I go and show you guys like this, for I in res, because res is a list, I want you to print I ka name, because this is the ith, matlab this is the this is the I in the loop, and from this I want I ka name, which is this. Let's see what happens. CLS. Okay, very easily we have retrieved Umair, Tala, Yunus, Kam, Farish, Safi. We can verify it. Umair, Tala, Yunus, Kam, Farish, Safi. Even the sequence was same. Okay, now let's. And what we need over there, I am not interested in this guy, because already in my dataset I have that Umair is the main artist. What I'm interested in, who are these artists? So what I'll do here is I will do. I have made logic like this. If len of res is more than one, okay, then I'll go with this part. Shift. If len of res is more than one, what I'll do? I'll run a loop for I in range. I'll start from the index 1, okay, to len of res minus 1, or I could say not len of res minus 1, len of res uh, till where so the one this one will skip Umair, and it will start from Talha Yunus. Okay, I'll say print. I'm not storing it anywhere, so I'm just printing it. I ka, no, I ka nahi, res ke I ka, give us the name. And if I run this, we will not receive Umair, I think. Yes, so we have not received Umair, which was the main artist, and we have successfully retrieved what we have successfully retrieved a feature artist. And this is something that I want. Okay, let's cut all of this and understand the code part. Okay, all artists is a container object, and again we have used try except. Okay, key error and index error just like before. And what is happening over there is retrieving artist, directly retrieving artist. So this was the whole JSON object that we had, the mess that we saw over there. From that we are retrieving artists, which is that particular part. We are retrieving only this, the, okay, we are retrieving this list only. And from this list then we are defining a new variable called feature or ft. This is an empty string. Okay, and if I'm saying if len of artist is greater than one, if there are more than one artist in that particular track, then I'll run same loop that I have used earlier. So for I in range, that will loop, the loop that will start from index 1 and go to the very end. Okay, And what is happening if I is equal to len of art? Okay, if we are at the last index, then we'll add in a feature only the name, and if we are not in a last index, then we'll add the artist name as well as a delimiter or a comma, and then we'll populate our container object all tracks. And yes, that's it. Now let's see how this works. Okay, control L10. Okay, this video got already 2 minutes lengthy. Okay, 3 means it's okay. Okay, you can understand like 10,000 hours with Justin Bieber. Okay, let's see 3 and 6. Is Joke the feature artist or main artist? Let's verify our result. As you can see, 3 and 6, main artist JJ47 and feature artist Joke. So the retrieval is successful. Okay, same. Let's check for 100 million also. I think it is successful. The video is very lengthy. I'm very sorry for that. Okay, 100 million was the original track for Divine, and the featuring artist was Karan Anjula. I think this will also work. This will obviously work. There is no denying that this will not work. Okay, so thanks all for sticking to the very end. If you stick, okay, bye.